High power praise. In this lesson, we'll talk about how to use praise and encouragement to maximize its impact in having your child perform more of the behaviors that you most want to see. High power praise begins with purposefully seeking out positive behaviors. Now, some parents overpraise, meaning that they're praising their child for doing things that the child is already good at, or the child enjoys doing, or just through the child's routine activities. This technique is a little bit different. What you're on the lookout for are behaviors that you see some of the time, maybe a quarter of the time or a third of the time, that are appropriate, that you want to see more often. So what you're doing in this type of praise is you're seeking lower frequency positive behaviors, and you're going to be tactical about using your praise during these times. Now, when you've identified what you want to see more of and the child does it, you have to be very concrete in describing what the positive behavior is. So avoid using terms like, "you're such a good boy," or "you're such a kind girl." Instead, the goal is to be specific in identifying these appropriate behaviors. For example, "I really appreciated how you brought your dishes from the table over to the kitchen sink at the end of the meal. That was really helpful for you. Thank you." So again, it's being much more specific about what that concrete behavior is so the child knows exactly what he or she should be doing more often. You have to praise immediately if you want to maximize the impact. Sometimes parents wait until later in order to praise, so they saw something good and they mention it maybe an hour or two after the fact. You'll maximize the impact when you see the behavior that the child does and you praise it right then and there. It creates a more effective pairing between the positive behavior and the reward. Communicate with enthusiasm. You know how when parents are upset, a child can clearly hear it from the tone of their voice? Well, this high power praise is the opposite. You have to sound so excited where that enthusiasm really comes through in the tone of your voice. So it's not just saying the good words like, "Thank you for such and such." It's, "Thank you for doing this." Again, sound really animated. It might be a little bit contrived or forced, but that's okay. As long as you're looking the part, looking enthusiastic, looking like you're really impressed and it mattered, it'll register more effectively with your child. Avoid qualifiers. Now, sometimes it's tempting to stick in a line like, "Well, thank you for bringing over the dishes to the sink. I'm glad that you did it this time. I'd like you to do it more often because it's only happening once in a while." What happens is you're diluting the effect. So if you're seeing your child do something good, just be happy throughout, be positive throughout. Don't put any ifs, ands, buts this time on it. Just go completely into the positive behavior that you saw. The last one is to use touch. Oftentimes a little hug, a tap, a hair muss, something like that really draws the child's attention and perks up their interest. Now, it's a wonderful thing to use praise across the board because it's encouraging, it's positive, but this is a much more specific use to get the desired behaviors to occur more often. So think about what you're doing now, take a look at the worksheet associated with this lesson, and be tactical about how you use encouragement. Thanks for watching.